Welcome back to Grand Prix World. I'm still incredibly sick, but that doesn't need to hold us back. We are winning for the first time in this playthrough, and winning fairly consistently. We've completed the 2003 car way ahead of schedule, and the C-Spec car is about a round away. We have a little bit of a cushion to the teams behind, but it's not been a domineering performance, I think that's fair to say, and there is room for improvement. There's also a chance that we're going to go backwards a little next season. We're doing all we can to try and counteract that. First of all, we're switching to Works Mercedes-Benz power, which means it should take less rounds to get a superior engine. We have also grabbed ourselves a Works fuel deal. The main area we're lacking at the moment is actually in sponsorship dollars. People are messing us around, and it's making it quite difficult to sign all the deals that we need to sign. We've got 7 rounds to try and fix that hole in our budget, and then next season we need to begin looking at a new team sponsor that hopefully pays a bit more. So we've got 3 sponsorship slots open, and we want to fill them with as much cash as humanly possible. The budget differential on paper is about 1.4 million. However, in reality we know it's probably going to be a bit bigger than that. We have in the mid-season started to become rather profitable, which can make our decision earlier in the season not to upgrade our factory look a bit foolish, but it was, I maintain, the right thing to do, and we will begin on upgrade work next season, I imagine. So without further ado, I'm going to silence my mic for a moment so I can cough my lungs out all over the floor, and then once I've mopped those up, we will press on. Whew, right. We've got a technology upgrade to squeeze out, so let's do that. And we have a 2003 car to manufacture. I'm going to build both race cars this round, actually, because we've got the economic capacity for it. That leaves us enough space to knock out another spare part, and then we will begin testing. Now, taking a look at where we are with tyres and whatnot, it's starting to look like now's the time to begin putting the NIS on the harder compound tyre, which we'd already discussed. Engine testing has ceased because there's no longer any benefit to doing it, and fuel testing is not really, well, it's not even not really, it's just not an option for us. Now, before we dive on any further, thanks again to everyone who's given their feedback on the channel and where we stand at the moment. I really do appreciate it, because I'm not a mind reader. I can barely tell what I'm thinking half the time, so it's always good to get sort of clear, concise feedback. And something that occurred to me, and I want to run it by you, is would it be particularly disruptive for you guys if we ran a concurrent Grand Prix World season? And the reason I'm asking is that I've become quite attached to the Arrows playthrough, and hopefully you have as well, and we've been starting to reap the rewards of our success. And I'm kind of reluctant to disrupt that too much unnecessarily, because I think it's good to have one example of what, in my opinion, is the best way to play, that new players to the game can come and look at, and hopefully once there's enough new players, it puts enough pressure on companies to finally remake this game to modern standards, and to make the changes that it needs to have made to it to become even more superior. So what I'd like to do is pause the video a moment, 1 second. Okay, what I'd like to do is have a second playthrough going with a different team chosen by you guys, whichever team you want, and we'll use that separate playthrough as a different take on the game, where we'll look more at driver development and a less sort of engineering heavy focus on success. So we're going to look at pushing your drivers a little bit harder and seeing how we can extract the most out of them. You may be thinking, well, why am I not doing that here? As I say, the problem we have is that what we're doing now reaps success, and it doesn't really, it's not really the opportune time, I suppose, to show the difference having your drivers push to the height of their limits. It doesn't really show what effect that has, because now at this point, you and I both know that we have the best power unit that's available to us this season, and we also have the best car on the grid in terms of race pace. Certainly not in terms of quali pace, which continues to be a weakness of the team. But you know, whether, I mean, I could turn down how hard the drivers push at the moment, and all it would do it might arguably result in slightly less DNFs, but what will really happen is that the gap by which we are winning races will come down a bit, and that's not really very easy to quantify without me putting it out to you, and me putting it out all the time doesn't really make for good viewing. So let me know what you think. Would it be confusing? I would call it something else, and maybe do it once a week, separate playlist, and maybe I'd create a special thumbnail for each episode of it that lets you know that this is the, let's call it the non-canon Grand Prix World playthrough. Now, if that's going to be too confusing or too disruptive, then you just let me know and I'll can the idea, and I'll do it after we finish the Arrows playthrough. But given that this is the most popular series that I do, and I don't really feel it will benefit from me doing episodes more frequently for this playthrough, because what I tend to see is the numbers of people watching are around 60-ish people, and usually if I put a new episode up, it takes about a week and a half before everybody's got around to watching it. It's been very good for viewer retention, at least that's what the analytics say, so thank you very much to all of you. What it tells me is that people do watch, they just might not watch on the day it comes out or even the week it comes out, but they, when they have time, do choose to spend some of that time hanging out with me in Grand Prix World. That's awesome. So I don't feel that me pushing out 5 episodes of the Arrows playthrough per week is going to yield any real benefit to the existing user base, viewer base. But on the opposite side, I think, you know, 2 Arrows episodes and another episode might not be too bad. But I'm sick and I'm highly medicated, and I had this idea early this morning, so it could turn out to be a terrible idea. And if that's the case, don't hesitate to let me know. Right, I'm going to choke to death. Just a moment. It's a good job this microphone's getting replaced, because next time I use it, it's going to be like French kissing a leper. Right, testing time, kiddies. The test program is pretty much set up how we want it, to be honest. We don't need to push particularly hard. The Forschung testing can even ease off a little. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Nice. We've got automatic gears in development. We've got a clutch reliability upgrade in the works, and we're in the wind tunnel with the AR2002C, which is a new floor, which hopefully should help where the car's lacking. So with that in mind, let's deploy those points we won at testing first of all. Didn't get a full reaping from tyre development there, but it should still be enough. Let's improve the hard compound again. Yeah, that'll do. That will do. Okay, and then it's just the wets I think we need to look at again for one more push. And maybe I should have done it for Britain, given Britain's propensity for rain, but hey ho. Right, let's repair the cars and go a-racing. Oh, another heads up, by the way, I'm away Easter weekend, so assuming I don't die between now and then, which is not impossible, then there'll be no new videos, I imagine, until Easter Monday. So I wish you a very happy Easter in advance. Right, who've we invited to this party? Goodyear, Mercedes-Benz, just bugger off. What we need to do is bring PlayStation and Canal Plus. And Danke, yeah, that'll do. That will do. Okay, setup time. Braking. Set up for cold weather. I still think it's quite a speed track, to be honest. Silverstone. I'm going to do the same for Deniz. Hopefully that's the right call. Okay, Evo 8 is the correct engine there. We're going to keep Fisichella on the soft tyre. Is that the best intermediate we have? Yeah, it is. What tyres did we get this time then? Oh, it'd be the new hards, won't it? Idiot. So we're going to put Deniz on the Evo 4 hard compound. And we're going to hope that there's a sort of 20-second over a race distance differential between Deniz and Fisichella. And what that's done, really, is while they're on equal tyres, it means they're stopping the same amount, and it means that Deniz is 20 seconds off Fisichella's pace. What this should do is equip Deniz to be much more consistently in the ballpark race time of Fisichella, in theory. And so we should see, hopefully, Deniz win a few more races. It's obviously Fisichella's championship, and Deniz has been hampered somewhat by just being organically slower. So, you know, you could argue fair's fair, but I think we want to see Deniz do well, so let's race. That's all good. $18 degrees and cloudy, and I need to sneeze again. I'm sorry about this, guys. I thought I stopped the video there, but I didn't, so sorry for that inordinately long pause. Let's quali. So we would expect to see Fisichella out-qualify Deniz, although it's not necessarily the case. As we've seen in the past, some tracks favour the harder compound tyre, so it's kind of hard to call. In this case, Deniz out-qualifies Fisichella very convincingly. Johnny Newhouse takes the pole for McLaren on a 1:23.385. David Coulthard puts his Benetton second on a 1:23.527, and Deniz third, Aeros Peugeot 1:23.589. Half a second down the road is Giancarlo Fisichella. Irvine takes fourth for Williams, fifth for Jarno Trulli's Benetton, and sixth for Johnny Herbert's Williams. So, yeah, not a great session for Fisichella, but usually he wins it back in the race. There's been a single degree temperature drop between quali and race day. Cloudy with a very strong wind. Sorry. I know, I shouldn't be making this video. I really shouldn't, but I didn't want to let you down. Right. Let's set pit strategy. I think, and I hope you're as excited as I am, but I think this could be a walk in the park for Deniz, assuming he finishes, because he's got the pace on the tyre and he's saving the pit stop. It doesn't mean to say that the other people who benefited in that session aren't running the hard compound though, so it could be a sort of limited return on this. But let's see. It's a win for Pedro Deniz. 1:28.09. That's pretty impressive, considering he's over a minute ahead of Alexander Wurtz's Jordan in second. That's a bit of a comeback for Jordan. That's good to see. Johnny Herbert's Williams on the podium. That's another excellent result for Williams as well. Both those teams doing quite well on the comeback trail. Fisichella takes the last points paying position, and both Benettons are in the points as well, so pretty good result all in all. Pedro Diniz now leads the World Championship by 2 points. This is exactly what we wanted to see, a bit of intra-team rivalry. As long as they don't take each other out of the race, which they shouldn't, then, you know, things are good. We are dominant in the Constructors' Championship. I don't think, and again this is the same as last year, I don't think what we're seeing in this points table at the moment really reflects the reality of the situation. But we've delivered when it matters, and that's all that matters. So, time for Austria. I'll join you in a moment. Okay, welcome back. So, Pedro Diniz has another win, another career win to add there. And Giancarlo Fisichella picked up a point. Pole position went to Johnny Newhouse. Canal Plus have ditched us to sign with Ferrari. That's bad news indeed. Both ourselves and Benetton got 2 cars into the top 6. We've won more points this season so far than we won in the entirety of last season. Minardi will be a partner from Mobile 1. That's good news for them. Ferrari have signed Celso Moriera. That's a bit of a brave call. Giancarlo Fisichella got the fastest lap. And a bunch of sponsors have been signed. We lost Korean Air to Stewart. And Bic to Williams. Seems that Sauber are running traction control, so something to keep an eye out for. And we are the most popular manager in Formula 1, which is about fucking time, to be honest with you. Cheeky. Anyway, let's not be bitter. The C-Spec car is complete, which makes me happy. As is our clutch upgrade and the automatic gears. Well, the only thing we care about at the moment is the 2002 chassis upgrade, because it cost a lot of money to develop, and it's only useful for the next 6 rounds, so we'll build that first and foremost. We need at least 4 spare parts. And then the rest we can spend on other stuff. So let's see if our automatic gears are sanctioned by the FIA. Nope, of course not. So we will instead upgrade the reliability of our clutch. Which is the right call, I feel. We will start again on the driver aid. I'm not sure we've got the capacity really to do much more than we're doing now. We will upgrade... I don't think we need to worry about performance too much, so let's go for reliability. It's important. Okay, so another big profit actually. It keeps telling me here that we've only made a profit of 26 grand, but that just isn't the case. I don't know how that's being calculated, but there's something wrong. What you'll see is that our income per Grand Prix has gone up drastically. That's based on our strong performances, meaning that sponsors are much more likely to pay up, and that's really what adds that drag fact to you in the earlier seasons, that we weren't able to get such great results, which means, you know, sponsors cool towards you. Right, so what condition are the cars in? Good. So let's run our testing program once more. We don't want to do another development cycle on the car, because a D-Spec... Oh, we could get a D-Spec ready, but is it necessary? I suppose we've got the budget. The 16 rounds... So we run this test for round 10, that puts us, assuming that we can finish everything in a single stage, which doesn't always happen, we would be talking about round 14 or 15 before the D-Spec is ready. Maybe it's worth it just because we can. If we've learnt nothing else, it's that sometimes it's good to do stuff just because you can. Let's try that. I've increased the amount of testing that we're paying to do as well, so spending some of that money. Okay, so let's start a new project here. This is a new rear wing that's going to help us in fast corners. We're at a 92% handling at the moment, which is far in excess of anything that we need. To be honest with you, I don't think any other team is even approaching 90%, realistically speaking. But nevertheless, let's make sure that we assign staff accordingly. Oh, sorry, that was a horrible slimy noise, and I did it accidentally. Okay, I'm going to put a lot of people on this for the simple fact that we want everything complete in a single stage. Okay, let's repair the cars. And then we'll look at the sponsor situation, which is increasingly uncomfortable for us. Okay, so that replaces our spare parts for the next round. That's good. Let's improve the soft tyre for Fisichella. Why not? There we go. Nice. Right. What's going on with you bastards? PlayStation deal is nearly in place. The Danker deal slowed off a little bit. We still don't have the bonuses that we need from Mercedes or Mobile. We'll worry about Mercedes first, and we'll try and get some kind of guarantee in position with them. And then we need to pick who we're going to negotiate with. It's a bit too late, I think, to go after Fiat, but you never do know. I'm going to try and chase... Let's go for MasterCard. Hope for the best. I mean, I really think it's probably a little bit too late for us to sign anybody in this regard, but, you know, not for the want of trying. We can improve the commercial department a little. Oh, we've lost a star worker there, so that was a bit stupid of me. Okay. Still have space in the construction department. Right, for the final time this episode, I hope, I'm going to blow my nose, and then we'll catch up in a moment. Righty. So, who are we bringing along? Everything's good there. Good there. Cars are repaired, I hope. Yes, they are. Right. So... let's set up for Austria. So this one's a bit of a tricky one, isn't it? It's hard to see, really. We will go, I think, like this for Deniz, and for Fisichella, we will go like this. That means Fisichella's on a suboptimal setup, I think, but it does hedge our bets a little, at least. And I still think he's a shoo-in for the championship, to be perfectly frank. Let's take a look at Sauber's very obvious, so obvious a magazine picked it up, traction control system. I doubt it's going to be better than ours, but you never do know. Okay. 20 degrees, very dry. Not as typically seen our strongest running conditions, but you know. Maybe I was wrong. Giancarlo Fisichella puts it on pole on a 1:11.117, so his setup hasn't hampered him too much, but only marginally slower, and very, very marginally slower, was Pedro Diniz, a 1:11.138. And again, very, very tight to the back of Diniz was David Coulthard's Benetton on a 1:11.159. In fact, everyone down to 11th is within 8/10 of each other, so that's a pretty tight field. The bottom is still Nakano and Marini in the Prosts, although the gap to the Tyrrells is a little bit closer, and Hill still out qualifying Tuero by around 4/10. Sauber and Ferrari are still struggling. Jordan are not where they want to be, but they're certainly not performing quite as poorly as we'd seen in the start of the season. Benetton still seem to be our most consistent rival in qualifying, although McLaren tend to be in the races. 28 degrees and dry, so that's quite a big temperature jump, and I think that could harm us, actually. But let's see, we'll do a 36.35 with Deniz. Now in theory he should win this, given the 1 lap time differential between them and the fact he's saving a pit stop. He should win, but you never know. Oh, that's a sweet sound. I don't know, Fisichella takes the win, 1:28.56.753. That's about 5 seconds ahead of Pedro Diniz. Eddie Irvine puts Williams on the podium again, 1:29.43, so best part of a minute down the road. Johnny Herbert takes 4th for Williams, and the final 2 points paying positions go to McLaren. Seems they had a double failure to finish for Benetton. Yes, we have hydraulic failure on both counts. A lot of hydraulic failures this round. 5 cars out to that. Engine failure for Marini's Prost. Yeah, mixed bag. Oh, I'm going to have to stop this video in a moment. Fisichella jumps back to the top of the standings in the Drivers' Championship. 2 points clear of Pedro Diniz, who's convincingly 18 points clear of Johnny Newhouse in 3rd. And yeah, it's a done deal. We've got more than double the points of the next team down the road. So sorry to remove the suspense from you, but I don't believe it's realistic for us to lose this championship now. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wicked Easter weekend, and none of you are sick. Take it easy.